guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing an eyebrow tutorial. I've gotten so many questions about doing an eyebrow tutorial for a very long time, since probably like 2 years ago when I was constantly doing makeup tutorials. This was probably my #1 requested video, and I just always wanted it super perfect, so I just kind of held off until I had good proper equipment, or a good camera pretty much, that can get every single little detail. But today I am at home under quarantine, of course, because I'm pretty sure, and I hope everybody is, but I just thought, what the heck, might as well. I know not a lot of people, well, me specifically, I'm not really wearing a lot of makeup right now, but I just thought this is still the perfect time to practice doing your eyebrows, so when you are out of quarantine and we're all out of quarantine, your eyebrows look bomb. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm wearing like just a little bit of makeup, not a lot of coverage, but yeah, so if you guys want to see how I got my eyebrows to not like full glam, but just my everyday brow, keep on watching. Okay, so the two products that I like to use are these two. Were pretty much one eyebrow product. This is let me see if you can see that. This is the Morphe, just like the brow cream. I preferably like dip brow, or like the Anastasia dip brow. Pencils are cool if you have really full eyebrows, because you can just kind of go ahead and draw in like all the empty bald spots that you have on your brows. But like me, I don't have anything on my brows. Sorry, I'm looking at the little viewfinder so I can like see what I'm doing, but I wouldn't say I don't have any brows. I do have brows and I do have a shape, but they're very, actually they look pretty full right now. I don't know why, but in person they're lighter, they're really light. With no makeup on, it's actually like, this looks fine, but I preferably like to have like noticeably, what's the proper word? I like to have eyebrows that looks like I have eyebrows, because I feel like right now, if at home, this looks fine, but I'll show you what I mean. So yeah, I like the dip brow, and the brush I like to use is this one. It's like an angled, it's very dirty because I use it every day. It's an angled brush, and then on the other side has a spoolie. This is like $4 or $5 at the Makeup Shack. I don't know if they have an online like website, but I know they have a store. But Morphe has a similar one of these, so I'll definitely link both things down at the bottom. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys. I just dip my brush into it. I do, like, I don't think you can tell, but I do a lot, kind of. I think I'm still gonna have to use a brush. I mean, one of these here, because yeah. So the thing, okay, so I'm gonna start. So I have some product like on my brush. I do a lot. So the first thing I like to do, I don't like my eyebrows to be super prominent. I like them to be defined but not like boxed. So the first thing I do is I start kind of like at the arch, and I just draw kind of like a line. I just do a little line, and I'm doing it really light-handed, because since I do dip my brush into the pomade a lot, it has a lot of product on here. So I like to just do it really light, but hard enough to, obviously, or like enough pressure for it to actually be doing something. So then I bring the line all the way over here to the end, or to the tail, and then with a super light hand, I kind of just do it quick in the front, because I don't like my eyebrows. See how that's like barely anything compared to this line, like it's a tiny bit. I like my eyebrows to be natural, So I just leave that like that for now. And then I go up to the top with the same product. I don't dip back into it until later. I do the same thing. I kind of start like really natural. And so technically, if you can see, my eyebrows hairs start right here. I don't really touch that. I go more into like the middle right here. And then I kind of just drag it on, and I follow my natural eyebrow. I don't really do too much, I just follow it. If you have like bald brows, or I know a lot of people say like just a line or no brows, it's kind of, I personally think it's easier to use the pomade for something like that, because you really have the freedom to draw your eyebrows on. And then you can use a pencil to kind of feather them so they look a little more natural. If you are intimidated by like my shapes not matching, or what if one eyebrow is more higher than the other one, Anastasia Beverly Hills has like a stencil where you can put it on your brow and you just draw it. So I can leave that link down below too, if that's something you want to do until you get the hang of it and you can do it by yourself. But I know Anastasia has a stencil where you can just trace it. But for now, I'm just going to show you what I do. So because I do have a shape, and I do have somewhat of like the hairs, then I just really follow that. So I'm just gonna finish this one, and like when I get to the arch, I just bring it back down to where the bottom line and the top line could meet. So the top line is what comes down versus the bottom line going up, you know what I mean? So that way it looks like you have an arch. And this is a little bit darker, so for me, the way I learned, it's gonna look a little bit crazy. The way I learned is that the front should be a little more natural, and the darkest part of your eyebrow should be the tail, which would be the end right here. So then with the same spoolie, I just kind of go in, and I use this to kind of blend it in. So it's not really like, there's no product in the middle right now. It's just, I'm just using this to blend it in. So let's see, like that, kind of bring it to the middle. And there's like, again, there's not a lot of product on my spoolie because I'm just blending it in. But now I'm gonna go in, and if I go like this on my end, I can see where there's a bald spot. So let me see how right there, there's this bald spot here. Sorry. Okay, so right here, see how there's a bald spot right here? If I brush my hairs up also, that's another way to see how crazy that looks. Then at least I can see where there's bald spots. So the same, I haven't dipped anything back into the thing. I'm just gonna go in and gently like fill it in. And by this point, because it is pomade, it is going to start drying. So this is where I would go back in and dip it. So see how it's kind of like filled in? I just like to use the tip too, because that always has a little bit. And then I just kind of go back and forth and with the spoolie and blend it. And then I go back and make sure it's brushed in its direction. And then I go back here and gentle, guys. If you have a gentle hand, the more natural it'll look. If you go too heavy-handed, that's when you start looking like you have boxed eyebrows. So now I'm gonna dip it in just a little bit more. And now for these, since it's an angled, see how it's angled? I'm gonna face it down. So the point will be at the bottom, and I'm just gonna kind of like flick it. So I'm gonna go here, and I'm just gonna flick it. And see how that kind of got really dark? With the spoolie, that happens sometimes. You just kind of brush it like that. And then you use that product to kind of bring it everywhere else. So see how now it just kind of looks fluffy? I personally like it to look fluffy because it looks like they're my natural eyebrows. If you were to like mess it up right here, see how right here there's like a dot? Oh, Isaac, I think is knocking. See how there's like a dot right here? I will use that, like I'll leave it for now. Once I'm done with both of my eyebrows, I'll use a concealer brush to clean it up. So now it's like fully, and all I did was I just used the spoolie on here and I just brushed it out. So it looks a little bit darker on camera, I don't know why, but in real life, this is how I do one eyebrow. Are you gonna say hi? As I came to say hi.
Hello.
Can I do your eyebrows?
No.
Let me see. Show them your eyebrows. Oh, you have a good example. Okay, so if you have, obviously, he doesn't do his eyebrows, but if you have like eyebrows like Isaac, a pencil would be good because, let me go get a pencil. Okay, I was done with one eyebrow. But if you guys have fuller eyebrows, this is probably gonna work better. This is a Brow Wiz, and this has a spoolie too. But on the other end, it's just a really thin, like, okay, is it focusing? Is it focusing? It's focusing on us. Oh, there. Wait. Get out of the frame. Is it focusing? Okay. See how thin it is? Sorry about my nails. Ew.
Don't actually.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. So if you have full eyebrows, something like this would work because then, like right here, he has like bald spots. Wait, right there. So with this, I would just flick it up to fill in like the bald spots. So that is probably what works best if you have eyebrows. I mean, like thicker eyebrows, and you don't want to. You don't want to, baby. You don't want it to look like super obvious. I definitely recommend a pencil like this because that'll help. You know, that'll help. And then also, I guess since I have this here, I'll show you another way to do it on this eyebrow with this one, just so you guys can kind of see the difference. But for now, this is my preferred way of doing my brows. They look a little bit thick right now, but this is like my everyday glam, right? Once I have more eyeshadow, I don't even have mascara on. Once I have my eyeshadow and mascara, this kind of like blends better. Right now, my brows do look a little more prominent because I don't really have a lot of color in my face. But after I do this eyebrow, I'll do my mascara and everything so you guys can see how just adding more makes it look a little less. So if you think you're doing your eyebrows and they look crazy, like bold, just finish everything and then go back and either wipe them down or clean it up with concealer. But let me do this eyebrow with the pencil so you guys can see. Again, I prefer the pomade over the pencil because I don't really I have brows, but they're not full. So, and I feel like it's a lot more work, or it's not as clean, I guess, with the pencil when I do it. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna draw the line. Sorry, this one, I can't really see if I'm getting it. See how it's like not, like I'm kind of going over it over and over. And I have to be a little more, I have to put more pressure with this one. Okay, there's one. And then I definitely do have to put more pressure with the pencil. And let me see. Okay, see? So, and then I'm gonna go back in gently, still in the front. I'm gonna bring that in. At the top, do the same thing. Okay. And now what I like about the pencil with even myself, I like to do little flicks, like hair-like strokes. So I'm just gonna go like this, or even like this. But the thing with the pencil is that, like, if I'm very gentle, I could even color it in, but very gently, because if you do it too much, it'll look too bold and too crazy. So just for me personally, in the front, like from here to here, I like kind of having feathered brows because I feel like that's what looks more natural. So that's what I'm doing here. I'll do a little bit here too. For some reason, my hairs on this eyebrow stick straight up, but not on this one. So on this one, I definitely like to kind of like do one dark one, so it looks like I have hair, but I don't actually. So yeah, and then after you kind of just step back and see how they both look. Remember, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. So you want them to look similar, but obviously they're never gonna be perfect because it's just, unless you use a stencil, it probably might be perfect if you use a stencil. But yeah, this is just my way of doing it. Again, this side looks fine, but I just feel like I use more product when I use a pencil because obviously I have to kind of push harder and go over and over and over. But this is pretty much how I would do my brows every day. So this is pretty much how I do my brows. But now let me clean it up and show you guys. Sorry, I was looking if I have my stuff here. Let me clean them up and show you if you guys kind of want to make them a little more cleaner, a little more glam. This is what I do when I glam up and I have glitter or whatever. I do this just so they look cleaner. But every day I leave them as is. But let me go get that stuff. So the way I like to clean it is with a concealer. This is just my concealer I'm using right now, and a brush like this. This is a flat brush, looks like this. And what I do is you could do this with concealer, with foundation. I just like tap it. You're not gonna be able to see it probably. And then looks like this. Now you have foundation on it. And then what you do is you go right under. I don't really like to go over, but I go under. So remember that dot that I had right there that I kind of made a mess? I'm just gonna gently, again, everything is very gentle with eyebrows, I think, in my opinion at least. You just go under. See how now there's like a clean line? And I like to tilt my head because I can really see like exactly where my eyebrow is. So I'm just gonna follow my eyebrow. So now I have this crazy line. So again, this is just me. I like to do this only when I'm glamming because it'll make my eyebrow look defined, and it'll really give the separation of this is where my eyebrow and this is where my eyeshadow is. That's just my personal opinion, but you know, each their own. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do this side. This side is probably gonna need more. Yeah, it's gonna need more. And then obviously we're not gonna leave it like this. We're gonna fix it, but I like to do the lines and then go back and fix it. So I start in the front because I feel like it's easier to draw it versus to draw a line here, to draw a line here. It'll be harder to connect. So I'm just gonna draw the line. Again, I can tell you this eyebrow is a little bit higher just by the way I did my line. See how this line is higher, arched? So then, if you still have product, I just like to clean it because all the product you're gonna need is already on your brow. So I'm gonna go back to this one because this one's been on longest, and I'm just gonna drag it down like this. And see, and all of a sudden, that's like, you can, like even at the end, you can just clean up the tip or the tail so it's like sharp, and then you just go back. Okay, so make sure you stay, make sure that once you do the concealer, you only touch the concealer. Don't try to like blend it up, because if you start blending the light and the dark like makeup or your eyebrow powder or powder, pomade, pencil, if you start mixing the light and the pen and the brow product, sorry, it'll start getting gray, and that's what you don't want because it's gonna be very obvious that you messed up. So just try to like leave it. And I feel like for me personally, if I do one and then I clean it right away, it almost gets messy. Like I feel like because I do one and then I do the line on the other one, it gives this one time to dry. So when I'm done with this one, it had time to dry. So now I'll do, you know what I mean? I hope that comes off clear. Okay, I just fixed that because it was a little not all the way up. So now I'm just gonna go back. If you raise your eyebrows, that kind of helps too for the cleaning up. You're just dragging that product down. You're not bringing it up, you're just dragging it down. So that product is now part of like your eyeshadow per se. Okay. And I always say, there's no really rules in makeup. Everybody can do whatever works for them. For me personally, I always like to do my eyebrows before my eyeshadow because, especially if I do glam, I know this is gonna happen. And if, let's say I had purple eyeshadow, oops, I spit. If I have purple eyeshadow and I did this, now that concealer is gonna drag down to my purple eyeshadow and it's gonna create a gray purple, and that's not cute. So, I personally like to do my eyebrows before and then do my eyeshadow, and I feel like that just gives me like a better slate to go back and add whatever color I want. So then once I have that, I just go with the powder. I just use my regular powder and I just kind of go under it so that concealer doesn't move or crease. So that's my eyebrows. I know they're a little bit crazy right now actually. This one's a little bit thinner than this one. Let me fix it. And I think that only happened because I used the pencil, because I'm not really used to the pencil. I definitely, so let's see if it happens since I just added concealer. Okay. So literally all I did there was I just made that line that was here, I just dragged it down a little bit because the pencil, like what I did with the pencil worked, I just did it too high. So if that happens, just do it very gently and add a line. So you guys, I guess that kind of works so you guys can see how I fix it if that ever happens. But yeah, so now if you guys see, my eyebrows look normal. So let me go ahead and add some mascara and then you guys can kind of see. Okay, so I just added mascara. If you guys can tell, this is just like a natural everyday look. This is pretty much what I do when I was going to work every day. I'm not working now, so this is what I was doing every day for work. This is what I do like on Sundays. I don't really do my makeup every single day, so this is definitely like my everyday look. Let me show you guys products. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys brushes real quick. And these are the brushes that I use for my brows, not every single day. Obviously, this is the only brush I use every single day. I'll have all of these brushes linked. If I don't find them, I'll find similar ones that I like. But this is definitely my everyday one. And then this is a clean version of what you should use for your brows, I think. See how it's like angled? It really helps to get like in there instead of a flat brush, because if you use a flat brush, it's kind of just, this kind of gives you like the little help of not so dark up in the front at least. And then this one and these three are actually my favorite to use when I clean up or like for the concealer under my eyebrow. This one's probably the easiest one because this is what I used. It's flat and this one's gonna help you with that line. This one's good. It's just, it might be a little bit hard because it's so little, but it works. And then this one is what a lot of people use after they have a lot of experience, because if you tilt it sideways, it kind of helps like with that shape, like because it's kind of round, it helps to get in there. And this brush is actually really good also for like if you ever want to put glitter, you can use the flat, like the flat shape, the flatness of it and the shape of it to get like right here on your eyelid, and that's where a lot of people, you know, use this to put glitter or whatever. So those are, sorry, sorry, I got cut off my memory. There's no more space in my memory card. But that's pretty much it for my eyebrow routine. Obviously, this is just my version of doing it. Everybody has their own version. Once you get the hang of it, you might change things up, and that's okay. But I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know if you guys are into these little like more detail specific things, because in the past I would just kind of do overall like makeup, versus today I just focused on eyebrows. So I know also I haven't really done makeup tutorials, and that's only because I haven't even done my own makeup really. But yeah, let me know if this is something you guys like. Maybe next I could do, I don't know, eyeliner or contour or something. So make sure you leave a comment down below of what you guys would want to see next. But yeah, so I don't even know, like I haven't done this in so long, and I'm also in my bathroom trying to be a little bit quiet because I don't want Isaac to hear me. I get shy. But yeah, thank you again so much for watching. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can do Isaac's makeup. And also, I guess now you have to hit a bell. The bell will notify you when I have new videos, I guess. So yeah, thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you guys